Hola chismosas, welcome back to Gossip and Guidance with your host Iromy. From wherever you're watching or listening, thank you so much for being here. As you can see, my special guest today, it's Morgan. Woo! Finally, dude, I had like convince her with food. Nah, I'm just kidding. She said yes right away. So I'm gonna let Morgan introduce herself a little bit, and so you guys can get to know her a little more and be like, who is Morgan? She's gonna tell you who Morgan is. Thank you, Morgan, for being here.
You're welcome.
Let them know who you are.
Okay, my name is Morgan. I am Iromy's sister-in-law. I am 26 years old, and I am a Taurus.
Woohoo! So guess what? The zodiac sign of the day is going to be Taurus. So I'm going to get started with that, and we're going to go ahead and read it, and then we're going to see what she thinks about it and see if, like, you know, like if she relates to it. So since my guest is a Taurus, this is going to be the horoscope of the day. And if you're a Taurus too and you're at home, by the way, today it is August 31st. Okay, so it's from that day. Okay, today you may become acquainted with someone who could become a true friend. If you are already familiar with this person, communication between the two of you will become more interesting and enjoyable. Pay attention to who makes you feel good today. You may be feeling increasingly capable and enthusiastic to take the time to address your physical body. If you exercise in the morning, you will be offered with energy that will last the whole day. Today's a good day to try out new physical activity. Girl, they want you to work out. She's like, I worked out in bed. Join your local soccer team or challenge your friend to a tennis match. What? Okay, let's just finish it up because okay.
Weird.
Yeah. On this day, you have more opportunities available to you as well that you will have time to complete and consider. Avoid feeling that you have to speed up or alter your pace due to external pressures. The energy is perfect for taking small risks on your terms. Overall, you can anticipate experiencing an easygoing and laid back kind of day. I'm going to ask you, did you relate to that at all? No. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I know Morgan, but there's things, I don't know everything about her, Okay, let me tell you what I think. I don't think, the beginning, matched at all. Mm-hmm. Even she's not a soccer player and she's definitely not a tennis player.
Nope.
But I can say a little bit about the second part where it says on this day you may have, and not just particular in this day, where it says you may have opportunities available as well to you that will have blah blah blah, and it says after feeling that you have to speed up or alter your pace due to external pressures, the energy is perfect for taking small risks on your own terms. I can relate to a little bit about your own pace only because Morgan just went back to school, by the way.
Yes, I did. I went back to school to become a medical assistant.
Yeah, so I feel like that's a big step for Morgan. She after high school, they decided not to continue education, take a little break, but I feel like you're taking that step, so I feel like it can be like a little pressure, so maybe the second part a little bit, and if you think about that aspect of your life right now, but it wasn't really relatable that I know of, and she agreed.
Yeah, definitely working out, not my thing right now.
Not her thing right now.
No.
But maybe someone at home is related to it. I don't know. Let me know if you're related to it. Today's horoscope was a little bit you know what I'm saying? A little questionable. So let's move on for that. Okay, so for the ones that don't know, Morgan's my sister-in-law, and she decided to agree to be here so you guys can get to know a little bit more about her life and her upbringings, her childhood, and how she met my brother, girl, how she tied that down, okay? Because fuck, he's a lot now. So Morgan, yeah, just tell us a little bit more about yourself, how was your childhood? How was it growing up?
My childhood wasn't too bad, but honestly, I feel like it was a really good childhood. I had a lot of friends, but I mean, as growing up, you lose those friends too as well.
Yeah.
I feel like overall, it was very good. I think the only thing that took a toll on us a lot is when my grandma lost her husband. He had a massive heart attack, so his heart, like, exploded.
Yeah.
And I feel like after that, like, everything kind of went downhill for us. And
So you were living with your grandparents?
I was living with my grandma. I lived with my mom maybe for until I was like maybe 2 years old, and then my grandma kind of took over taking care of us and stuff, because my mom, honestly, she didn't really care about us. Like, she just did like you know, other things that she wasn't supposed to do. And so my grandma kind of like just took over and to take care of us and stuff like that. And honestly, I feel like it was really good, because honestly, if my mom was to still take care of us, I don't think I would be here today, maybe.
Yeah.
I probably would be out making like bad choices. I would probably be in jail or something like that. But honestly, if it wasn't for my grandma, like...
Shout outs to Morgan's grandma.
Yes.
And so, yeah, so your mom had like a hard time.
Yeah, she kind of cared more about like being with guys and stuff like that than taking care of her kids, because I do have a younger sister, and then I do have an older brother. My sister is on her own, and so is my brother, so now it's just me. Yeah. But other than that, like, my childhood was okay.
With your grandma
it was
and
good,
stuff.
yeah, because if it wasn't for her, honestly...
And then did you and all your siblings live with your grandma?
Me and my sister did.
You and your sister
My
did.
brother only stayed with us for a little while, I think until he was maybe like 4, and then he took off with his grandparents.
Oh, like
from his dad's
side.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then he stayed with them for I don't know how long, and then he just kind of like went on his own.
Yeah.
Now he lives all the way in Susanville, so that's pretty far. That's like
dang.
Yeah, that's like going towards, I think, like Nevada, so it's like, yeah, way over there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What, and quick question, are you and your siblings from the same parents, same mom and dad?
Actually, no.
All three of you guys?
We all have we all have the same mom, but we all have different dads.
Okay.
Which was
Did you have
nice.
any did you personally have any connections with your dad?
I never knew my dad.
You never knew your dad.
I've never met him. I've never talked to him or anything like that. I don't know what actually happened with him. I just know that he was never around.
Never around.
He wasn't even there when I was born, so
Okay.
he just kind of like, all I know is what my mom told me is that he kind of like cheated on her, so he kind of like went on his own way. So
Okay.
I never met him, but that's okay.
Was your mom young, like a teenage mom? Was she a teenage? Because I know sometimes when they're too young, they just struggle to, like, take over that. It's a lot of responsibility, and it's not for everyone sometimes.
I'm not exactly don't know how old she was when she had my brother, but maybe, yeah, she could have been pretty young when she had my brother, because we're all 2 years apart.
Okay, so it was your brother first?
My brother, then me, and then my sister.
Oh, so you guys are all 2 years apart.
Mm-hmm. I would have had an older sister, but my mom said that when she gave birth to her, that she came out like deformed.
Oh, okay.
So she didn't make it. So she was only like there for like maybe like 30 minutes, and then she passed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
But other than that, I'm blessed to have my sister and my brother by my side.
Yeah, and then your grandma, because your grandma was there for you.
Yeah, my grandma took care of us.
So then it kind of, after your grandpa had a heart attack, and unfortunately he passed away, so you guys had to move, or what happened after that?
No, we didn't move. We kind of just stayed where we were at. We kind of stayed in the house that I grew up in, basically.
Yeah.
But it started to get a little hard to where we didn't have no electricity, we had no hot water, and like it was hard. It was really, really hard for all of us. Like, it was like that for maybe like 6 months without no hot water, with no electricity, and it took a big toll on all of us. Like, it honestly, it made us all like kind of like hate each other, we would always arguing and stuff like that.
It was a stress too. I feel like stress can cause that on, like, in general, stress already, it's a big toll on people, and I imagine like all you guys living there and like going through the same things or struggling to get by, like stress causes that, and it can cause like arguments between family, or not just that, just if you live there, you don't even have to be family.
Yeah,
you know?
I think what kind of made it worse, I think that part is kind of like when, like, I started dealing with depression and stuff like that because my grandma and my mom were constantly fighting. And I can remember, I kid you not, like, I remember always calling Carlos and saying, like, hey, like, can I come over? Like, they're fighting again. Like, it's like, yeah, like, I'll meet you halfway, like, so you can come over. Like, you remember Fanny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember one time I told him that my mom and grandma were fighting, and they all came, and they picked me up and everything and took me and stuff like that because, like, I just couldn't take it anymore. Like, it was just so bad.
So, how old were you when your grandpa passed away?
I was, let's see, so me and Carlos were 14. So we were probably like 12, 11,
Okay,
12, around there when he passed.
Okay. And then you met, how old were you when you and Carlos met?
We were 14.
And you guys were in middle school? Or?
We met through a friend. His friend was actually dating my sister. So we kind of met through like that. And then me and Carlos, we didn't date right away. You know, we were like friends for like maybe like a year. Like we became like best friends like after we actually met each other. And then in 2012.
Yeah, guys, they've been together that long.
Yeah, so in 2012, in November, he actually had the guts to ask me out. Like, he was scared, he was shy, yeah, because we barely knew each other.
And not just that, I feel like my brother's very antisocial. He was very shy. Yeah, very shy, very antisocial. I don't know. He's a Scorpio, so I don't know that like that's a Scorpio thing, but I'm even surprised he has a girlfriend. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, once you get to know him and he's comfortable, like he's fucking funny, he's cool, like he can be too much, like he's amazing, but yeah, I mean, especially you guys were 14, you know, obviously now he's a grown man, so.
We went through a lot, trust me, like, the first year was the roughest part.
Like, roughest, and like, you guys were struggling, like, arguing a lot, or like, in which way was it rough for you guys the first year?
It was arguing, and then since, you know, we had, barely started talking to each other, like, actually dating, he was still kind of like talking to other females and stuff like that. So it kind of like made things a little worse for us. So I think that's why we were always fighting.
Yeah.
And at that stage, I feel like at the first year I was very jealous. So I feel like that was another reason why we argued.
And you know what? I feel a lot like a lot of relationships, when it starts like that, getting to know each other, I feel like most, I'm not going to say all of them, but most start off a little toxic. And it's because you guys are still getting to know each other. You know what I mean? You guys don't really know each other on that deeper level. Or you guys don't really trust each other. And like, I mean, jealousy is like a normal thing, you know, but especially when you're getting to know that person, you don't know how they react to certain things, or some people are more jealous than others, you know what I mean? So it's that thing. It's getting to know each other, getting to know their dislikes, their boundaries. So I feel like every relationship goes like that, because same, like me and Syra, I feel like our second year for us was kind of like the hardest, because I feel like for us, like the first year was kind of like love and butterflies and like, you know what I mean? Like honeymoon stage. So I get it. Like, I feel like everyone goes through that, and as long as you can come out strong through it and makes you guys a better couple and a stronger couple, that's all that matters, is the fact that you guys don't give up on each other and you guys try. Because there's some people that can't get past that toxicness, and it stays like that for years, or they just don't make it because they don't know how to get through it, you know?
I feel like that part for us, it did take us, well, at least it took me a little while to get past it, because like he did have a lot of like female friends through middle school and then kind of through high school, but like I kind of like talked to him and told him how I felt about it, and he kind of like just, you know, like pushed him away, you know, because like he didn't want to risk the relationship, because like he loved me, but you know, we were still young, so he was still kind of like trying to figure out if he really does love me.
Yeah.
But I mean, now today,
well, I mean,
like,
you guys were young. You guys were what, like middle school?
Yeah, middle school.
7th or 8th grade?
8th grade.
8th grade. So going to, damn. So like, it's like a little before my dad left then, right?
8th grade and then all the way through high school.
And till now. Till now. How many years have you guys been together now?
It will be 12 years in November.
Dang, dude, 12 years. Dang,
12
that's
years,
crazy.
and I'm
How does that feel? Like, do you ever sit down and think about, like, damn, I've been with this man for like 12 years? Or it's kind of like, does it seem like it's been that long? Or does it seem longer, shorter?
Honestly, it feels longer. I feel like we've been together for like.
Well, it's because
so
you guys
long.
technically grew up together, you know? Like, you guys were literally babies. You guys are like 14 years old. You guys have grown together.
A lot.
I mean, you guys are, you guys are 26 now, you know? Well, he's about to be 26.
He'll be 26, yeah, in November.
Yeah, because she's a little older. He likes them cougars. No, her birthday's in May, of course, because she's a Taurus. And my brother's a Scorpio, so his birthday is actually November 1st. So he'll be turning 26 soon.
Very soon.
So did you guys, throughout this whole 12 years, have you guys had like really like rough patches? Like, has it been up and down, or was it just that first year?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Well, as of today, we still have those rough patches, like, you know, here
and everyone
here
does.
and there,
Yeah, everyone does.
But honestly, I feel like we've grown so strong together now because of the fights, you know. And back then, we didn't like communicate like how we do now.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a big thing for us.
No, it is. I feel like trust and communication are your top number ones in a relationship. It has to be. You know what I mean? Because if you don't have trust, you constantly argue because you don't have trust. And if there's no communication, you guys can't come to an agreement, or miscommunication. It can be many misunderstandings. So I feel like communication and trust is if you have that, you can get through anything, you know? And obviously you guys have worked so hard, because who gets together for 12 years, you know what I mean? Like, me and Sarah have been together for 7 years, and I feel like, damn, that's a long ass time. But like, on social media, like, say we're on live or something, we always get like, oh, like, how are you guys so perfect? No one's perfect. I don't believe anyone is perfect. No human being is perfect. No relationship is perfect. No marriage is perfect. It's just figuring out what works for you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what works for you guys when you guys argue. Like, example, I have said this multiple times. Like, when me and Sarah are bickering, or we're just annoyed of each other. Come on, you get annoyed of your partner. You're a human being, and it's okay to have those emotions. And we just kind of like walk away from each other. We give each other some space, and then until one of us cools down, and then we talk about the issue. Like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I was frustrated. I'm sorry I reacted like that, or whatever the case may be, you know? So like, what works for you guys now that when you guys get in an argument, or you guys are just kind of like annoyed of each other?
Well, now when we do argue, we kind of like, he kind of just like walks away. Yeah, he just walks away, and then sometimes I feel like super bad, sometimes I'll kind of like follow him, just be like, hey, like, you okay? Or I would just like leave him alone, give him his space, because sometimes if I do follow him, it kind of like makes things a little worse.
Yeah, because he needs to cool down.
Yeah, but I mean, I think a good thing too is that he does work nights. So he goes on to work, so that way he can cool down, so that way by the time he comes home from work, like, we can actually like talk and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because, you know, I hate arguing, you know? It sucks.
Exactly, it sucks, because it's like, that's the person you live with, that is your best friend at the end of the day, that is your partner. So when you're not in good terms with your best friend and your life partner, it does suck, you know? It kind of feels a little awkward, and it sucks, you know?
Yeah, and I feel like the worst part about arguing is that, you know, we have Sebastian, you know, and I hate arguing in front of him, because I don't want him to grow up to remember us like arguing in front of him and stuff like that. So we kind of like try not to argue in front of him, because like if we do end up arguing, we kind of like either try to drop it right away, or maybe like kind of like walk away.
Yeah, and I think that's best, because honestly, the one good memory, I'm not saying that everybody has to be like my parents, but the one good thing I can say about my parents, obviously they didn't make it, but I never saw them argue. Never saw them argue. Like, I could never tell you that. Maybe like one time we saw my dad like annoyed at my mom, but it's like, we never heard them argue, but we knew when they were mad. And we knew when they were mad because they wouldn't talk to each other. Right? But at least I can never say like, oh, they used to scream at each other so much, or they used to disrespect each other. No, that's one thing I can say. So, I mean, that's a good thing that at least you guys keep that in mind, because there is a lot of parents that get so wrapped up in their emotions and their anger that sometimes they forget that there's kids involved, and that and sometimes they might think, oh, he's only 2 or he's only 1 or he's 3, he's not gonna remember. No, like, it's, you might think that, but they're smart. Just because you see them little kids are sponges. They're sponges, and sometimes they'll hold on to things without even realizing that they held on to that, you know? So I mean, I'm glad that you guys try not to. I mean, that's, at least you guys are aware of that, and that's what matters, you know? So now that brings us to you being a mother. How has that been? I mean, obviously, you and my brother been together for 12 years. That was about to happen. They were about to have a fucking kid.
Yeah.
So how is motherhood? Like, I know, like, you had a tough, in a way you had a tough childhood. I'm not saying completely, because obviously your grandma made up for a lot of things. Your grandma was there for you. Your grandma was a mother figure for you. But obviously, how did that affect you as being a mother now? Like, did it affect you in a better way? Like, you wanted to be better, or did they kind of like an example for you? Like, you know, because a lot of people might take it like, oh, I want to be a better mother than my mom was. Or was it kind of like a natural just for you? Or was it kind of like a goal set for you?
I think I did talk to Carlos about this. I think I did tell him that, like, I wanted to do better. Like, I wanted to be better than my mom, because growing up, like, she wasn't there much. And, like, I want to be there for my kid, you know? Like, I don't want to just
because you know what that feels like.
Yeah. Like, I know how that feels like, and I just don't, like, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
And honestly, being a mom, like, the first month after giving birth to him was hard.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like, the postpartum was really hard for me. And I think what kind of made it a little worse is that Carlos didn't kind of, like, understand what I was going through.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't understand, he didn't believe it. He didn't think that postpartum depression was real.
Yeah.
And, like, I knew I was depressed because I knew I wasn't myself. Like, I just was always crying and just, like, keeping to myself. And, like, I just wanted to be comforted, you know?
Yeah,
and I feel like I didn't get that very much from him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't, but I feel like when he sees me emotional, like, he doesn't, like, really know what to do.
It's because also Carlos is this type of person that he doesn't deal with his emotions. So if he doesn't know how to deal with his own emotions, how can he help someone with their emotions? You know what I mean? And I feel like that's something that he needs to work on. You know what I mean? It's never too late to work on yourself.
Right.
And yeah, unfortunately, my brother has always been one of those people that, like, doesn't like to express himself, and he holds in a lot, and because he doesn't know how to express himself, or he doesn't know how to express his feelings, he might not understand other people's feelings, because in order for you to understand other people, you kind of have to put yourself in their shoes. You know what I mean? And he tries to avoid that. He tries to avoid feeling anything. He tries to avoid, even though he shouldn't, right? But obviously, like, that's something that he needs to work on, but he needs to want to work on it. He needs to be able to be like, you know what? I need to start working on my emotions to be able to understand at least my wife or my girl. You know what I mean? But obviously he loves you. Like, we know that, you know, like, he would do anything for you guys. But yeah, like, I know that he can be a little emotionless sometimes and not understand. Yeah, because trust me, I'm a crybaby. And he'd be like, bitch, why you crying? Like, bitch, why the fuck you crying? You know? Like, obviously, like me, like, I am a lot more sensitive about my parents' divorce than he is. Even though it did affect him in certain ways for him, like he said in my podcast, he did say, like, you know, it affected him when he saw him with somebody else, but, like, the whole divorce itself didn't affect him as much as it affected me. So, like, yeah, I feel like he has a hard time dealing with his emotions, you know?
Definitely.
So, does. I mean, at least any other person that didn't feel appreciated by their partner as much, or, like, he didn't understand your feelings, would kind of, like, give up in a way, and you didn't, you know? You kind of just stuck by him, you know? How long did the postpartum depression last? Like, how was that? Like, was it just the beginning, or, like, because I know every mother has different,
it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
For me, I want to say it lasted maybe for about, maybe like almost a year.
Oh, so like the first year?
Yeah, the first year. Like, it took a lot on me because I think I think Carlos was working at the time too.
Yeah.
And he did take maternity leave for, I think, was a month or two.
Was he at Loprinos already?
Mm-mm.
No,
He was working with...
So he still had paternal leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like once he went back to work, I feel like it kind of got a little hard on me. But then again, if you think about it, your mom was there. You know, she did help me out a lot.
Yeah.
She helped me out so much. And honestly, thinking about it today, like she helped me a lot.
Oh, stop it.
She did, because honestly, if it wasn't for your mom, like, I wouldn't be here today. Because when I was living with my grandma, you know, all the arguing, and then I eventually got kicked out, you know, and, you know, your mom didn't want me on the streets or anything like that, and she kind of, like, you know, took me in, you know, and honestly, I'm so blessed that she took me in and helped me out. You know, I was with Carlos throughout high school and all that, and...
So you moved in with Carlos, at what age were you guys, or what grade?
It was, like, freshman year.
Freshman year?
It
so,
was
like,
freshman
14,
year.
15?
Mm-hmm. And it was a lot. And
how come your grandma kicked you out? What was, like, the main cause? Like, it was just kind of like you guys got in an argument?
Not just because of that. It was because...
Oh, she was moving, right?
She was in the process of, like, moving, and she was also trying to get herself clean. So she was kind of, like, detoxing, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like she was kind of, like, angry at everybody, because I know when you go through that, it's hard.
Withdrawals are hard.
Yeah.
Withdrawals are not easy. And that's why many people with addictions, or many people with habits, it's so hard for them to get past it, because withdrawals are a lot. Like, it can take a toll on your body, you know. That's why sometimes when it's extremely bad, you know, some people, it depends, you know, there's different stages of withdrawal, right? When it's really, really bad, there's some people that cannot do it alone, you know what I mean? Like, their body is wanting it, you know. So of course you're gonna go through different emotions, and so she was just kind of like spiraling.
Yeah, big time. It was really bad, but then again, if I think about it, like, your mom was basically like a second mom to me.
And you know what? I feel like everything happens for a reason, you know? Because I feel like even though I feel like it hurts me that my parents split, I feel like if my parents would have not split, they wouldn't have taken you in, because my dad was a little more strict.
Yeah, me and Carlos still talk about that today. Like dang, like, if you think about it, like, if your mom and your dad were still together, like, where would I be today? You know, like.
Yeah.
But then again, I feel like things happen for a reason, and then I'm just so blessed for your mom.
Yeah, she's a sweet lady.
She's very sweet, and I look up to her, because she helped me and Carlos through so much, and she's the best person, and she's the most wonderful grandma to Sebastian. Like, she helps so much.
Yeah, I know, dude. Like, there was my mom have always had my back since I was little. Like, she knew how my dad was. My dad was he's not in my life currently, but he's still alive. But yeah, my dad was very strict, very serious, kind of like Carlos in a way, but just not as bad, you know. Like, obviously Carlos is a little more like Americanized. My dad's a little, you know, like, he was very strict. Like, for sure he wouldn't have been okay with a 14-year-old moving in with his kid, you know. Like, that's just as much as you needed that help, he would have been like, that's not okay. And same, like, I mean, there were so many things that I honestly was able to do because of my mom, you know. So yeah, my mom has always been there for me and Carlos, you know. I'm not saying she's perfect. She's made her mistakes, for sure. You know, she has chosen the wrong partner in the past after my dad, but no one's perfect, you know what I mean?
Right.
And she has always been there for us. So I mean, I am thankful that, I mean, I wasn't there because I moved out as soon as I graduated. And mind you, like, me and my brother are 3 years apart, but he did flunk his first grade. So we were 4 years apart in school. So by the time I graduated high school, like, he started high school. So I was already out by the time you guys started dating, you know? So, like, I moved out as soon as I graduated. So I wasn't there through your guys' process. I feel like you and my brother grew up with my mom, and like I was not around to witness half of those things that you guys went through, you know. Like, I was kind of like out of the loop, and I was more out of the loop because at that time, obviously, I was so hurt by my dad leaving that I was more into like my life, my party life, that I wasn't really involved in your guys' lives, and there's not much that I knew, you know what I mean? But no, I'm grateful that my mom took you in, and I am grateful that you're part of our family.
I am too. I am so blessed to be part of your guys' family. I feel so welcomed, and honest, like, I just love your mom so much, and I'm so happy to be with your brother, because honestly, I don't think I would be a mom today if it wasn't for him. And he is an amazing father. You know, he supports us in so many ways. He is a very, very hard worker, and I know it takes a lot on him. I know he's always stressed.
Yeah.
You know, and I try to do, you know, the best things I can for him to not make him feel stressed, because, like, I hate seeing him so stressed, or even, like, sometimes he gets a little, like, depressed, you know, here and there, and it takes a lot on both of us, because, like, when he gets depressed, like, I can see it. You know, his mood changes, like, he kind of, like, isolates himself, and, like, I want to be there for him, comfort him, and stuff like that, and he just kind of, like, wants to be, like, alone.
Left alone, yeah.
Yeah, but when he gets depressed, like, I get depressed, because just seeing him like that, it hurts.
Yeah, of course. Like, that's the person you love. That is your partner. That is the father of your kid. So if you see him stressed, or if you see him sad, it gets to you. And I totally get that, because when Sarah was going through her depression, her stuff, like, it was hard to see her like that. And especially because at first I didn't understand it. I didn't understand how someone can be healthy, how someone can have a good life but still be depressed. You know what I mean? So it was hard for me to understand that, but eventually, like, I started understanding it more. And it doesn't mean that I never, like, felt for her. Of course I felt for her, you know, like, I hated to see her like that. It sucked. So I can only imagine, like, you know, I understand when you say, like, you want to comfort him, you want to be there for him, but he wants to be left alone. Same thing. Like, I wanted to be there for her, I wanted to comfort her, I wanted to, let me make it better. What can I do? You know? And there's not much you can do. It's kind of something that they have to fight on their own, and they have to figure it out. And sometimes I don't know if you feel like this, but sometimes I feel like, what am I doing wrong? What's something that I can do to make you feel better? But sometimes it's not on us. It's just something that they need to figure out on their own, and, like, whatever works for them to, like, get over it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying get over it, kind of like, just kind of like get past it. Like, what, for example, there's therapy. I don't know, some people working out, or some people do certain things, you know?
Just anything to, like, distract your mind.
Yeah, to distract your mind. So, like, find something that would help you, but at least try, you know? And it's just kind of hard when you feel like it's on you. So I kind of understand that part when you're like, oh, I hate to see him stressed, you know?
Yeah.
So talking about you, like, seeing him like that, is that one of the things that pushed you to go back to school, or what made you say, like, I need to go back to school?
I think what kind of pushed me to go back to school was we've been struggling financially, and I'm like, I just don't want to see him so stressed about that anymore, because, like, he does cry about it here and there, you know, because it's like, what are we gonna do? Like, we have no money, like, we can't even buy food and stuff like that. And it's just like, then it makes me think, like, I can't help him. Like, I'm just here, like, you know, I'm just a stay-at-home mom, you know, I'm just here to take care of our kid, you know, I cook, I clean, you know, I take care of the house.
You take care of the house and your family.
But at the end of the day, I think about, like, dang, like, I make no money. Like, I don't help him in any way. Like, I wish I could, you know? So I kind of, like, had to push myself to go back to school, you know? You know, as growing up, like, I did not like school or anything like that. And I was like, you know what? I need to do better for myself, and I need to do better for my family. Because, like, I want Sebastian to be able to grow up and, you know, see me going to school and seeing me become, you know, a medical assistant. I mean, I'm not going to be a medical assistant, you know, forever. I mean, it's just to get the little experience, you know, and then, you know, I just want him to be able to have that, what's that word?
Support.
Yeah, support. And then,
and you know what, like, I feel like it's just like also nowadays, right? Because obviously I feel like back in the day, so many women were a stay-at-home mom. That was like the norm, right? Like, oh, the woman stays home and the woman takes care of the house and the woman takes care of the children, right? And the man was able to provide. But honestly, like, nowadays, with everything just being so expensive, everything, it's food and rent and cars and interest, it's really hard to survive on one income nowadays. You know what I mean? So, and I know that also you've been staying home to, like, take care of Sebastian, because also daycare is freaking expensive. Like, it is too much, like, ridiculous.
And daycare is right now. Well, we honestly don't really trust it at the moment.
And that's it. It's also like, there's so many things that you see. Like, what better way than to take care of your own kid, you know? But it's just like the way that the economy is, girl. It is hard. It is hard nowadays to survive, and as much as you don't want to put your kid on daycare or a stranger watch him, sometimes certain moms still have to do it. And maybe eventually, like, you guys will have to do it for a little bit, because I know soon enough he'll be in school too, and that would be like, you know, that would help a lot when he starts school. So I mean, don't just say like, oh, I'm just gonna be an MA for now. Like, if that's what you're gonna be, that's what you're gonna be. Or you can grow in that career, or you can see if the medical field is for you and move on. Maybe do nursing, maybe do ultrasound tech, whatever you once you end up finding your niche, or like what calls you, like, you'll figure it out. I mean, it's never too late for anything. You can never be like, oh, I'm this old, or I can't do this. I wish I would have done this when I was young. No, it is never too late, because you're still alive, you're still living life, and you're still here. So you can still do many changes. Like, I have always said this: we change every single day. We're not the same person we were a week ago. We're not the same person we were yesterday. We change every single day. And honestly, I'm really proud of you for taking that step, because same girl, I hate school.
It's not my thing, but I am pushing myself a lot. And honestly, right now I'm loving it. I'm doing really good. I'm getting good grades. So I feel
Has it been a little hard? Because I know obviously it's different when you have kids and when you don't have kids. Has it been a little hard because you have a kid? Like, how has that been now that you're back in school? Like, how has that been working out for you guys?
At first, when I told Carlos that I was going to go back to school, you know, it was kind of like a little iffy about it, because we're like, oh, like, what are we going to do about Sebastian? Like, we don't have nobody to watch him or anything like that. And I was like, well, let me just give it a try. You know, let's see if we can do it.
Yeah.
Because the school gave me a week, you know, to see if I can actually stick with it. And look at me now. It's already been almost 2 months since I've been in school.
Oh my God, that went by so fast.
Yeah, so it's been almost 2 months.
Oh my God.
It's working out.
It goes fast, see?
Really
it goes
well.
By fast.
Really well.
So you guys found that routine that works for you guys? Mm-hmm. Oh, so what's that routine? Because I know Carlos works at night. So, like, how do you guys make it? What works for you guys?
Well, I know he did talk to his job, you know, to kind of like to different supervisors to let them know that, like, hey, like, my wife is in school. Is there any way that, like, I don't have to do, like, you know, overtime in the morning, because I go to school at 7 in the morning. I have to be there before 7:15. So we're like, how is this gonna work? Like, what happens if I do overtime? Like, you know, some of the supervisors aren't gonna let me, you know, go home because, like, they need people. And I was like, well, I don't know. Well, let's just give it a try.
Yeah.
And eventually he was able to talk to, you know, some other supervisors who were kind of like cool about it, you know.
Yeah. Now
he doesn't get scheduled to stay over. He only gets scheduled to go either to stay over or to go in early on like Thursday through I think Saturday.
Okay.
Because I go to school Monday through Thursday.
Okay.
So after Thursday, like he stays over work, which is fine, which works good for both of us.
Yeah.
But honestly, I feel like it's working.
It's been working.
It's been working very, very well. And
so when the days you go to school, he gets home and takes care of Sebastian while you're at school?
Yeah, so he gets home like around maybe like 6:20 or 6:30 latest, and I leave from the house like 6:45 because it's like a 15-minute drive. It's not that far.
Yeah.
And then he just takes care of Sebastian while I'm at school. I only go from school from 7:15 until 12.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, so it's not that bad. So it works for both of us. And he was going to switch his shift to, I think it was second shift.
Yeah.
So that was going to be from like 1 p.m. to like 10 at night or something like that.
Yeah.
But then again, if we were thinking about like, that's not going to work at all.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like, because my last class is comp. So sometimes if I don't finish my work, like I'd rather stay in school and finish it so that way like I'm not getting, bothered.
Yeah, at home.
So I can focus better.
Yeah.
And sometimes like I think the latest I've ever gotten home was like past like 1:30.
Yeah.
So we're like, no, that's not gonna work at all. So I told him, I was like, you know what, just tell your supervisors like you're gonna stay with third shift. And so far, it's been working very well.
Well, that's good. I'm so glad that's been working out because if it didn't, I would have been stressful, So, I mean, I'm glad that that's been working out for both of you guys. And I hope it continues to work out until you graduate. And then from there, you'll see what's the next step in your guys' journey, because obviously you guys are a team. So you guys have to be there for each other and like work with each other. You know what I mean? Like same, like with me and Sarah right now, like that I don't have a car because I got in a car accident. Like we only have one car, but we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work until I'm able to buy a new car. And it's being a team, a team player. So, how is Sebastian now that you go? Does he notice that you're gone? Was it like did it affect him, you going to school? Because obviously he was used to having you 24/7.
Yeah. I don't think it affected him that bad. Honestly, I feel like it's bringing him and Carlos a lot closer together because he does work nights.
Because he spends a little more time with him?
Yeah, which is really good because, like, when he works nights and then he sees that he has to go to work, like he gets very upset.
Especially because he sleeps, right? He gets home, he just sleeps because he has to go back at it again.
Yeah. But honestly, I feel like he's doing good. Like I come home from school and he's just very happy to see me. He's like, Mama. Aww. He's just waiting for me at the door, and like he knows when I get home. Like he hears me unlocking that door, you just hear him screaming of happiness. Yeah. But honestly, I feel like it affected us both in a good way.
Well, that's good. It was a change, and sometimes most of the time change is good. You know what I mean? Especially when you guys have the same routine or the same thing over and over again. Change does the soul good, It's something new, something different, and everybody needs a little change in their life. You know what I mean?
And I feel like it was good too for me and Sebastian because I feel like since we were together like 24/7, he kind of like
had attachment.
That, and he kind of like, I feel like, I don't know how to say it, and like not annoyed, but like he threw a little bit more tantrums with me than he did with Carlos because he didn't see Carlos as much as he's seen me. Yeah. But now that I'm going to school, it's not as bad. I mean, he has them here and there, but I feel like since being in school, kind of like helped.
Yeah, because now he sees him and then you, so he has like that balance. Because obviously before Carlos used to get home and straight to just sleep. Now he has to get home and take care of his kid. Yeah. So how is it having a 2-year-old? Because I hear terrible twos.
The terrible twos, yes. He's a little crazy.
Little bit.
I mean, I don't know about that, but he's good. But
is it hard being a mom, honestly? Because I'm scared.
In the beginning, yes, it was hard.
Do you think it's easier now that he walks, or that?
I feel like it's easier now because he's walking and like I don't have to worry about like, carrying him in like the carrier, anything like that, which that was a lot. Yeah. But I feel like it's easier now because like He walks, he runs, he's crazy.
And like he can let you know. I hear. I'm not a mom, but I do hear that obviously it's a little easier when they're a little bigger, because when they're babies and they cry, you don't really know what's wrong with them, right?
Yeah,
like they're just crying, like, oh, are they hungry? Do they need change? Do they have like, are they colicky or you know what I mean? And I feel like now that they're a little older, I feel like it's a little easier for you to figure out what's wrong with him. Oh, he's just tired, or he's hungry, you know, right? Is that true? Because I don't know. I'm not a mom.
I feel like it's true, because when he's hungry, like, he tells us he's hungry, and when he's tired, we know when he's tired because he gets super fussy. But
would you say that you would want more kids in the future?
Well, okay. Let's talk about this. I was pregnant, you know. I didn't know I was pregnant at the time, you know, but I was just having like these feelings that my body was telling me I was pregnant.
Yeah, I hear that, you know your body.
So I went to the doctors and they took a pregnancy test and they told me that it was positive. Like, my heart completely, you know,
because you weren't right. It was that one because Sebastian wasn't an accident, right? Like, you guys planned Sebastian.
Sebastian wasn't an accident. Sebastian took us almost 3 years before I got pregnant with him.
Dang.
But for the second, we didn't know.
And you guys didn't plan it.
But
did you guys think you guys were ready for a second one right away?
We do want another one. We do want a second kid. But, you know, with this second pregnancy, like, it was different. I felt like it was a little different for me. And then I feel like what kind of took a little, you know, toll on me is, you know, I had a miscarriage, you know. And it was really, really hard because, you know, we were honestly happy about me being pregnant again because, like, we see Sebastian and, like, he's playing alone, stuff like that, and it kind of, like, it hurts seeing him.
And it also because, like, all the little cousins around his age, they're, like, in LA, like, or past LA, you know, Riverside, Moreno Valley, they're not far away, because I seen them together with the cousins, and it's like they get along, you know. They're all this. There's like 2 other ones that are the same age, 3 actually. Other ones are the same age with him, and like no one here on this side. I know none of our cousins here have kids, you know, like at least like the cousins you guys hang out with a lot. I know that they don't have kids, so the ones that do have kids, they don't live near. So I get it. Like, you guys were trying to give him like a little friend, like a little companion, sibling, you know.
Yeah, and we see how he is with his cousins. Like, it just makes us so happy, you know. And honestly, I just wish I could give that to him. And I feel like with this miscarriage that I had, like, it sucked because knowing that my body couldn't take it.
Yeah.
And I feel like what was a little harder on me is that I kind of had to go through it alone because, you know, Carlos was working at the time, and like, he couldn't risk his job. Like, I get it. Like, he supports our family.
And then when you went to the hospital, he couldn't go in, right? Or
only he was able to go in with me, but Sebastian wasn't. So thankful for your mom. Yes, she drove all the way from Fresno to Tulare to, you know, take care of Sebastian while I was in the hospital. And honestly, it sucked because I was alone and I had no one there to lean on, you know. It sucked because, you know, I was seeing so much blood and it was just so scary, you know. Like, I've never seen so much blood in my life.
So they sent you home. So you went to the hospital because you started spotting? Or what was the first, like, how did you make it to the hospital? How did that start?
I remember that day. We were actually at the park, and as soon as we got home, like, my body didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And then I went to the restroom, and then, you know, I seen blood. And I told Carlos, I was like, I think we need to go to the hospital. Like, I think I'm having a miscarriage.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he calls your mom and everything, and she goes, you know, go right away, you know, because she could be having a miscarriage. And I was like, I'm most definitely having a miscarriage. That was just way too much blood.
Like, it wasn't spotting.
It was a lot of blood. Like, to say if you were on your period, you know, it was a lot of blood, and it was very scary. And once I got to the hospital, I mean, they didn't admit me, like, right away because, you know, they're always packed and stuff like that, and it took them.
And it's in the ER,
and it just took forever, and like, being alone, like, it was hard, and then it was just so many hours passing, and I think I went into the hospital like 4 or 5, and I didn't get out till like 1 a.m. Yeah, so it was a long process, and then I think what sucked the most is that, you know, I was pregnant, so I was gonna go through depression again. And the second time, I feel like it hit me a lot harder.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so hard to where, like,
I think because you guys were already adjusting to the idea, like, okay, we're gonna have another baby, you know?
That too, and I feel like with this depression that I was going through, I feel like Carlos seen it more.
Yeah.
Like, he's seen it, like, it was so bad. Like, I didn't want him to see me like that, and, like, he actually, like, was there for me for this, and I think what was making it somewhat harder for me is seeing, like, my friends, like, posting pregnancy stuff and stuff like that, and, like, it made me very emotional, and like, I didn't want to get out of bed because, like, I really wanted this for Sebastian, and, like, I wanted him to have a sibling, and, like, I don't want him to grow up alone. But I told Carlos, like, we can try again, you know?
Yeah.
But I told him, if I have another miscarriage, like, I don't think I want to put my body through that again, because the experience sucks.
Yeah.
And especially knowing that I had to go through it alone, like,
yeah.
I don't want to do that again because it took a lot.
Yeah.
It took a lot.
It does. I mean, I can only imagine because obviously I seen my mom go through one when we were younger. I also seen my friend go through two as well. And like, from what they tell me of what I hear, it's a lot, you know, because you're so excited, you're expecting, you know, you already made up your mind, or you were okay with the idea of having another kid, and then you just see that just like go away, you know. And I know that it's hard and it can take a toll on you, but I am a big believer that everything happens for a reason, and maybe God said like it wasn't the right time for you guys just yet, and I feel like he will bless you guys again when it's the right time. Because I feel like if you, I'm not saying that it should have happened, but I feel like if you would have been pregnant right now or having another kid, I don't think you would have went back to school. You know. And I feel like right now I'm glad that you took the chance, because eventually you guys are gonna give Sebastian another sibling. You guys obviously said that you guys want to have more kids, so I feel like right now that you are not pregnant or not expecting, you know, I feel like you're gonna get your school over with, and by the time you get pregnant you don't have to worry about like, oh my god, I could have gone to school, you know. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and I feel like God said like, you know what, you guys are not just quite ready for another one just yet, you know. And I just have faith, and I feel like God will bless you guys again when it's time. Like you said, Sebastian took 3 years. Why? For a reason. Maybe Sebastian took 3 years for a reason, and God brought you guys Sebastian when it was the right time for you guys, you know. So you just have to have faith. Just have faith and just believe, and you guys will get through it. Like you only fail in life, or you only give up only when you give up, you know what I mean? Like, you only fail in life when you give up. And it's just like you're going to school right now, and then eventually you guys will try again, and just don't give up, don't lose faith, you know. Like, if it's meant for you guys, it will happen, you know. So how many more kids do you guys want to have? Just one more, 2 more, 3 more?
We just want one more. We just want 2 kids max.
Just 2 kids?
Just 2 kids max.
Girl. I feel that, girl. Because at first I was like, oh, I want 3. Like, that was me. Like, I want 3. And I feel like I always said I wanted 3 because, like, it's just me and my brother. And I think about that, too, because I'm like, it's not that. I mean, I'm glad that it's just me and my brother. It's like 50-50. It's kind of like hard, because I'm like, I feel like I worried about my brother a lot. I don't care if he's going to be 26. I will forever worry about my brother. That's just the type of person I am, and I care so much for him. Even though, like, I was a shitty ass fucking sister when I was little, but I was a kid. You know, I was a kid. I didn't know how to handle my anger, emotions. I didn't know how to handle a lot of things, and obviously I like to believe that I've been a better sister since I got older. Like, I matured, and I don't know, like, I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me. No, but I truly do love my brother, and I am grateful that God gave me a brother. But then I think about it, I'm like, dude, like, what if I don't, like, I think about it because I'm like, fuck, what if I don't want to be a mom? And then I'm like, damn, I'm not going to make him an uncle, or like, I'm not going to give my nephew a cousin, you know? So those are things that I think about a lot, because I'm like, like some of my friends, or like they ask me like, oh, are you gonna have kids? And I'm like 50-50, right? I'm like, oh, like I would love to experience motherhood. But at the same time, I'm like a selfish person and I don't want to give up like my freedom, or I'm so scared to worry about someone for the rest of my life, because you're forever gonna, if I worry about my brother, imagine like my child, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I feel like it's a lot, but that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have 3 kids. I'm like, if I have kids, I'm gonna have 3, because I'm like, if one doesn't want to have a kid, the other one will, you know? Because I do think about that. I'm like, oh, like I would love my brother to be an uncle. I would love to give my nephew or niece in the future cousins, you know what I mean? Like, it's good to have cousins. I grew up close to my cousins, so I'm like, I want to be able to do that, and that's one of the reasons why I do want to have kids, but like I don't want it to be the only reason, you know? Right. And so I have always said like, oh, 3 kids, because like, you know, I feel like it's just me and my brother, and like sometimes like the kid that my mom lost, I'm like, oh, we could have had like another brother, we could have had like another sister, how would life be, you know? Maybe that other sibling would have made my brother an uncle, I don't know, you know? But then I'm like, fuck them kids. No, then I see like, nah, for like how moms struggle, like being a mom, it's not for the weak.
It's not
for the weak. And I'm like, like I don't know, dude, like I'm not trying to compare, but if I worry about like a sitter for my dog, like, you know, like, oh, we need to go do this, we need to go do that, I had to leave my like dog with my mom, you know, and I already feel, or with Morgan, and I already feel like I'm bugging, and I imagine a kid, you know, so that's what I always said, like, oh, if I'm gonna have kids, I'm gonna have 3, but maybe just 1. Maybe just 1. So that's why I'm asking, like, oh, like, how many kids do you guys want to have? How many kids did you guys want to have before Sebastian?
2.
2? Oh, still, you just wanted 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I told him, I don't think we want to go past 2, because I think 3 would be a little too much for us.
Yeah, it would be a lot.
Too much.
And kids are expensive. Yeah. Kids are expensive.
Diapers? No joke.
Yeah, diapers and food and care. Like, say you start working, you're going to start thinking about care. Like, who's going to care for, you know what I mean? It's expensive. And it's like, once it starts, goes back to school shopping. And like, yeah, dude, it's expensive. So, because I know, like, I seen, I have other friends or stuff that'd be like, oh, before I had kids, I wanted to have 5. And now they're like, fuck, just 2. That's what I'm asking. Like, how many kids do you guys want to have before Sebastian?
2. Stuck with
2. Have you thought about, like, when in the future you'll be ready to try again?
Maybe. Okay, so I graduate next year. So maybe once I'm working, you know?
Yeah, and see how that goes. Give it a try.
Yeah, give it a try and see how that works, and maybe give it a try, you know, around that time. Yeah. I mean, right now, if it happens now, like, then it happens, you know? I mean, accidents do happen, you know? But other than that, I feel like I'm just gonna wait until, like, after I graduate, and then, you know, start working a little here and there, and, you know, if I feel ready, then it'll happen.
Yeah, when it's time, like, what's meant to be will be. I strongly believe in that, and I do believe that everything happens for a reason. And sometimes we might not know what the reason is. Like, unfortunately, like, you had a miscarriage, and we might not know what the reason is, but I do believe that everything happens for a reason. And maybe now you're by your school, maybe you can think about it like that. Oh, maybe it wasn't time for us to have another kid, you know? And especially because, you know, like, it's just getting harder right now. So it allowed you to, like you said, you want to be able to do more for your family. Maybe that was one of the reasons. Who knows? We may never know, but you just have to, like, have faith, and then don't lose that, you know? Just have faith. And I wish you and your little family the best. And I know that sometimes it might seem like you guys don't get out of one struggle and get into a different one, right? And then you're like, why us? Why do we go through this? Trust me, we all feel like that. It's not, everybody goes through different struggles, and I don't want you, especially no Carlitos, can be like, fuck, like, you know, like, we just came out of one and we're going into another struggle. Everybody goes through different struggles in life, and just because people don't talk about it, or just because people don't show that part of their life, everybody has their own struggles, you know. And life, it's about keep fighting and keep doing it, because every time something bad happens, there's always something good that comes out of it, you know? And I feel like eventually you guys are gonna look back and be like, damn, like, remember when we would cry about this? Remember when we were stressed about this? Like, thank you that I'm here. And I feel like you guys will have your moment, and you guys just have to have faith and believe in your family and believe in you guys, and just everything. Hard work pays off.
Right.
And I know that your sacrifices, I know Carlos maybe loses some sleep because he takes care of Sebastian while you're at school. Yeah. That's a sacrifice. And you going back to school and paying, you know, that's a sacrifice. You're doing a sacrifice for you and your family, and it will pay off, you know.
It will. Most definitely.
Yeah.
Because right now we really need it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I need the distraction too. You know, maybe the alone time, it does help me a lot, because, girl, I'm always stressed. And Carlos is always telling me, like, you need to stop stressing. Like, you're always putting yourself down. Like, you're always stressed. Like, you're always letting things get to you and stuff like that. And I was like, I know.
Yeah.
Like, I see it and I realize it. And, like, I don't know why I let things get to me like that.
But, yeah. And I get it. Some people stress a little more than others. Some people can handle stress. Some people can't. And that is okay. Like, everybody handles stress in their own way, you know? And as long as you can bounce back up, or as long as you can realize that, like, okay, it's okay to have your downtime. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel stressed. It's okay to feel like, oh my God, I'm not gonna cut up. It's okay. Have your moment, but then get back up. And that's what matters, you know? Like, you're not giving up.
Right.
You know?
And I feel like today I am so blessed to have him, because, you know, he's my ride or die.
Yeah.
He is my ride or die. He is my best friend. You know, he's going to be, you know, my future husband. He is the father of our son.
Everybody say in the comments, Carlos proposed. Nah. It's been 12 years, homie.
But he's my everything. And honestly, if I didn't have him, like, I don't know. Like, I already told him, like, if we were to ever break up, I was like, I don't think I would be able to put myself out there. Yeah. Like, I don't think I would be able to, you know, date another man, you know, because, like, we grew up together, you know.
You can't picture a life without him.
Yeah. And he said the same thing to me. He's like, I can't see myself with anybody else besides you. Yeah. He's like, you're my everything, you know, you're the mother of my kid, and, you know, you're the love of my life. And it's just, like, he's everything to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys found each other. I feel like, that's what I'm saying, I feel like everything happens for a reason, and I feel like everything aligned, you know, like, as much as, like, my dad leaving her, maybe that had to happen for you to be here with us, because, like you said, if my mom wouldn't have taken you in, who knows where you would have been, and maybe you and Carlos wouldn't be here 12 years later, you know, because definitely you probably would have to go somewhere else, not be in town, maybe far away. Who knows where you would have been now if it wasn't because my mom took you in. And honestly, I'm so glad that my mom took you in. I'm so glad that you're my brother's life partner. I'm so glad that you are my nephew's mom. I see how much you care for him. I see you're a great mom, and don't ever feel like you're not enough. Don't ever feel like you're not doing enough, because you are doing the best that you can. And he has a good mom, you know, he has good parents. As I know that sometimes depression might get to you and might be like, maybe I'm not being a good mom, maybe I'm not being a good parent, but don't ever feel like that, because no one is perfect, and you're doing the best that you can, and you are doing an amazing job. So I'm so glad that you came into our lives, because you did not just come into my brother's life, you came into my life, you came into my mom's life, you came into our family's life, and I am so blessed to have you, and I wouldn't want to see nobody else, my brother, either. Hell nah. So thank you for being a part of our family.
Thank you for inviting me into your family.
No, of course.
So blessed to be a part of your family. I am.
I love you. Over here crying, dude. I know this fucking podcast. Well, with that being said, guys, like, is there anything else you want to add, Morgan, to let the público know what's good?
No, I love you guys so much.
No,
I do.
I love you, and thank you, and I can't wait to be at the again.
Coming soon.
Loading. Well, guys, this is my sister-in-law, and I just want to tell her thank you so much for accepting to be here. I know not everybody gets intimidated by like cameras, lights, and like, and honestly, like putting yourself out there, because in a way you are putting yourself out there. But the reason why I like to do this and why I invite my close people here is because I know there's people at home that might be going through the same thing or similar things, and because a lot of people don't put their bad, you know, what do you see on social media? You see good things, you know, like people traveling, people having money, and people living their best life, right? Nobody's gonna put their bad. No one's gonna talk about their bad, because who wants to hear that shit? Yeah. That's just depressing, you know? Like nobody wants to hear that. So a lot of people put their good thing, but at the end of the day, we have to understand that we're all human beings. Nobody is perfect, and everybody has something going on. And this is why I like to bring my close people, so you guys can understand that like we're all humans and everybody goes to different things. And I like to make things relatable. So in some of the situations, you might feel alone. You know what I mean? You might feel like you're the only person going through that. But I want you to know that you're not. Everybody goes through struggles, and they might not show it, you know, but everybody goes through struggles. And I'm glad that you are here to share your story, how you grew up, you know what I mean? Your mom being absent, you having nowhere to go, and my mom took you in, to still being with my brother, to becoming a mother, and to going back to school. See how much you have grown. There's someone out there that it can relate to you or can understand your story. Mm-hmm. So I just want to say thank you so much for accepting my invitation and for being here.
You're welcome.
Guys, well, now you guys know a little bit more about Morgan, so don't come and try and get my brother. She's gonna fuck you up.
He's mine.
Forever. So guys, thank you so much for watching and listening to Gossip and Guidance. And as always, don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed. Like and leave a comment down below.